Mbak Kiki, silahkan.
Sudah di-admit ya, Mbak ya? Mbak, ini partisipan saya apakah sudah di-admit?
Sudah Mbak, mungkin sedang.
Ya. Sudah. Oke. Bismillah, langsung dimulai saja ya, Mbak ya? Ya. Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon in Indonesian time and probably good morning in French time. I'd like to welcome all distinguished guests to the info session, Master Degree in Life Science, Forest Fire Management and Scholarship Information, brought to you by IPB University, Institut Français Indonesia, and University Paris and Letters, or PSL University. First and foremost, let me introduce myself. My name is Rizky Auladisha Alifa from IPB University, and it is such a delightful chance for me to be the host for today's event. Before we start today's info session, I'd like to convey our warmest welcome to Professor Iskandar Siregar, the Director of IPB International Collaboration Office, Ibu Nur Hidayah from Institut Français Indonesia, and also the representative from PSL University that will be joining us soon, Professor Christelle Heli Alom, Mrs. Samantha Carell, and Mrs. Philomene Robang. And of course, another distinguished guest that I cannot mention one by one. Without further ado, I would like to invite Professor Iskandar to give a little opening remark, just a short one, to formally open today's event, as well as giving some motivations to our master student to be. To Professor Iskandar, the platform is yours.
Yeah, thank you. I would say Mbak Kiki for the introduction of our meeting today. So, dear students and dear representative from EV or IVI, ya, Ibu Hidayah Kampus France ya, dan Mbak Dita ya. We are very pleased that we can conduct this event, although a little bit small, but very important to disseminate or to share possible funding opportunities and possible postgraduate studies in France. Yeah, when we are talking about France, I think one of the biggest economy in Europe, especially, and if we talk about the Paris, yeah, everybody must know about the Paris, how beautiful the place is. Today's or this afternoon session, is mainly directed to students who want to pursue further studies, either master of or doctoral degrees in France. So, and also in France also we should know what kind of opportunities there, especially available funding, either full or part, to support our study. And this session also will be focused on master program on life sciences, specifically we are targeting the student who want to continue for doing courses or studies on forest fire management. But apart from that, the PSL is a highly ranked university, one of the highly ranked top 100, also offer other field of study, of course. You may explore it later after knowing the program, which will be presented later after the first session, or the scholarship or education information from Campus France. Please do not hesitate to contact international office and also Campus France for inquiring more information regarding study in France. So your future is there. Be prepared, yeah. And I'm also would like to know further about the system there. That's from my side on behalf of the international office, yeah. Just enjoy the session. Thank you very much, Mbak Kiki.
Thank you very much, Professor Iskandar, for the warm welcome. Next, I would like to invite Ibu Nur Hidayah from Institut Francais Indonesia to present about the procedure for the scholarship as well as stuff like visa application, etc. Please welcome Ibu Nur Hidayah. The platform is yours.
Terima kasih Mbak Rizky Aulia Risha. Bonjour à tous, selamat sore dan selamat pagi. Bonjour à Christelle Ellie de PSL. Enchantée, je suis Hidayah, de personne en charge de Campus France Medan. Pertama-tama saya ingin mengapresiasi terlebih dahulu tim IPB pastinya sudah mengundang tim dari IPI dan Campus France untuk hadir pada sesi hari ini. Well, because this session is started with English, so I guess that I will present everything in English. Beforehand, let me introduce myself. My name is Hidayah. I am the person in charge of Campus France Medan from the team of Campus France Indonesia. So I will start this presentation for you to know what is Campus France, and then how to get the scholarship to get your master degree in France, and as well as how to get your long stay student visa. So this information later will be very important and will be very necessary for your preparation to study in France. And later on, you will be really in contact and you will be really familiar with Campus France in your area, of course. So I would like to invite for all the participants maybe to activate their camera. So maybe I can see all of your beautiful and handsome faces, of course. Jadi buat rekan-rekan semua, karena di sini sepertinya yang aktif kameranya hanya ada Samantha, Kristel, Ibu Rizky, dan Ibu Listi. Yang lain boleh mengaktifkan kamera nih supaya kita bisa, oh ini nih calon mahasiswa yang akan ke Prancis. Saya akan presentasi sebentar saja, nanti di akhir kalau ada pertanyaan boleh, karena nanti akan ada Samantha dan Kristel yang akan melanjutkan presentasi. So allow me to share my screen beforehand. But Rizky, would you please to confirm that you can see my screen right now? Yes, okay, thank you. So just a brief introduction about Campus France. Campus France Indonesia, or Indonesia is part of French Embassy in Indonesia and also part of Institut Français Indonesia. So our role is to give the information related to study and the cooperation about the university to the universities in France. And our office is in 5 cities in Indonesia. There are in Jakarta, Bandung, Yogyakarta, Surabaya, and Medan. So I am one of the representative in the cities in Indonesia. So also we accompany the students to apply for the universities as well as it is obligated for the students to contact Campus France for their student visa application. So basically, for the students who want to apply to the public institution in France, later PSL will explain whether the registration itself, it needs to be via Etudes en France or it can be directly to the institution. And also to apply for the student visa, you need to contact Campus France. So next, I will discuss about the scholarship. So this is a fun fact. 90% of the students in Indonesia, they study in France without the scholarship because the program itself has been given the direct scholarship by the French embassy. So we pay only mostly 30% of our school fee because there is the scholarship from the government. So the real scholarship, so actually in France itself, we can also study in English. It doesn't need to be in French because there are the programs that is provided in English. Later on, in forest fire management, in PSL, if I'm not mistaken, it will be also taught in English. So this is one of the scholarship that you can apply to study Master Forest Fire Management in PSL. So the scholarship is called France Excellence Master, France Excellence X2, Kedutaan Besar Prancis di Indonesia. So this scholarship is given by the French Embassy in Indonesia only for Indonesian students. So it is open for Indonesian students and it will be launched next month. So this scholarship it can be said that this is a full scholarship because it will pay your student visa and it will give you a monthly allowance like 700 euro per month, and it is really enough for you to live in France. Next is your student fee or course fee. If it is in institute or the public institution, it will be free. If it is in a private institution, there will be like a maximum 5,000 euro per year. And then there is the CVSC. CVSC is a student life campus contribution. So you will have the free CVSC if you get the scholarship, as well as the health insurance and the priority to university dormitory, or we call it cruise in France. So this is the scholarship, full scholarship that you can apply to get to study to France, especially in forest fire management. Actually, there are another scholarship that you can apply, but mostly it is not. It is limited to a certain program. But in France Excellence Master, it is not limited for the field. It means that whatever your program that you will take in France, you can still apply for the scholarship itself. And then we are going to talk about a little bit more administrative because we talk about long-stay student visa. So maybe you will ask how to get the student visa and who to contact. So first to understand and to know, if you want to get a student visa, you need a letter of acceptance by your institution. And the second one is to contact Campus France. So if you have already the LOA, you can contact Campus France for further information to get your student visa. Because if you go directly to French Embassy or to TLS contact, they will give you the information to go to Campus France. That's the first step you need to do. There are 3 steps that you need to do to get your student visa. These keywords may be a little bit like technical, administrative, but you can know it from now because it is really simple. There is EEF, France Visa, and TLS Contact. So basically, EEF is with Campus France, and France Visa and TLS Contact, it will be in TLS Contact in Jakarta. So the visa itself, it will be the making of the student's visa. It needs 14 working days. It can be sooner or slower. It is due to several unexpected situations. So it is really recommended that you need to get or to apply your visa 1 month before your departure. So if you are applying for the forest fire management, and you have already your LOA and you'll be starting your program maybe on September, so on July and August, you can start to contact your Campus France in your area to get your visa. So yes, this is how you get the visa. Firstly, it is make an account from Études en France. So later we will explain a little bit more technique about this. And then there is France Visa. And you submit the 17 documents to TLS Contact. So what are the documents? Don't worry, we will share with you later. I guess that's all because this will be much more, I can say, very technical. So if you have any question regarding applying your visa or the scholarship itself, you can contact us on our social media. There is our Twitter Instagram, Facebook, and our website. Also, you can ask questions in the Q&A session later. Because I've seen our speakers from France has been with us right now, I will give the platform again to the moderator, and you can discuss with me later in the Q&A session. Thank you very much for your attention. Well, Mbak Rizky, silahkan.
Baik, terima kasih banyak Ibu Nur Hidayah. Thank you very much Ibu Nur Hidayah for the presentation. I wish and I hope it will increase or elevate your motivation to pursue the graduate study in France. I mean, it's a full scholarship, right? Who doesn't want that? Now that I've noticed that the representative from PSL University has already joined us, I'd like to convey our warmest welcome to Mrs. Christelle Heli Alom and Mrs. Samantha Karel. Maybe we can move on to the next agenda, which is the presentation from the PSL University. Please welcome Mrs. Christelle Heli Alom, the professor and researcher responsible in Forest Fire Management track at EPHE PSL University. Please, Professor Alom, the time is yours.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. So I'm Christelle, let's say. I'm a professor at EPHE, which is embedded in the PSL University, and I am on my way to propose a master degree track, let's say, called Forest Fire Management, and this will be taught in English. But before to start, I will let maybe, so let's say I'm an ecologue, ecologist professor. I'm working on fire for, I would say, almost 25 years, something like this, since I've performed my master degree in fire a long time ago, let's say, and I worked on different type of ecosystem, temperate, let's say, shrublands, boreal forest fire, tropical forest fire in savanna, and dry forest as well. So the idea is just to first introduce our master degree. And for that, I will let Samantha Charey to explain, which is the head of the international resource here at EPHE. So Samantha, I will share my screen since I have the presentation, okay? And I will let you.
I do have the presentation as well. If you want, I can do it.
As you want.
I can share my screen, and
okay.
Then I leave it to you.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, I'm going to share my screen, and you tell me if you can see something. Is it okay with you?
Yes,
it's coming.
We can see
yes.
it clearly. Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, I will introduce myself. So just as Christelle told you, I am Samantha Charey. I'm the Director of International Affairs at the EPHE PSL. We're going to, first of all, thank IPB University for this invitation, and the students as well for your assistance. I want to explain you how PSL University works, because it's not that simple, but it looks like my presentation doesn't work.
No, it's working.
It's working. Okay, that's perfect. So if you have any questions, raise your hand or just speak, because I don't see your faces while I'm sharing the screen. And you just tell me if you don't understand. So PSL is a university. It's a public research and collegiate university that's been created as a university in 2019. Actually, it's a group of old schools. PSL is very new, but the schools that compose the university is very old, and the EPHE, which is our institution, has been created in 1868. PSL is located in Paris, but we have multiple laboratories all around France. And actually our fire management training track is located in Montpellier, which is in the south of France. which is better for you, I have to say. PSL is one of the top French university in international rankings, but you already know because of the presentation Campus France just made. And we have about 17,000 students and almost 3,000 researchers and professors. Our academic fields goes from humanities through sciences. And the master's degree in life sciences, to which the fire management track is linked, has been created in 2004. So it's all, the track is entirely in English, so you don't have to speak perfectly French to follow the courses. Anyway, I suggest you follow a survival French classes, because to survive in France or just to do the papers, you need to get your visa or just live a day-to-day life. You really have to speak French. A French master takes 2 years actually, but the selected IPB students will have direct access to the second year of the master's program. That means that at the end of your training, you will graduate from PSL University, you will get a master's degree, and you will receive another diploma from your own institution, which is IPB University. So before I explain to you the process for admission and the schedule, I will leave it to Christelle to make a short presentation of what is the fire management training and the master's degree we have in life sciences in France.
Thank you, Samantha. So I will try to be short, okay? So the master degree is in 2 years, so 4 semesters, okay? So here is the presentation of the full 2 years, okay? So each year it's a 60 credits units, and you have 10 weeks of courses the first semester in Master 1, okay, first year, and you've got the 5 weeks courses on the second semester, because only 5 weeks, because the other half of the credits are raised, I would say, from the internship, which is a research topic that you will have to conduct and by applying scientific methodologies, protocols, field measurements or lab measurements, analysis and reports, okay? The second year, it's splitted in 2 semesters as well. The first one is, as in the first year, 10 weeks courses, and then the 4th and last semester, it's completely dedicated to the internship. So it's a longer internship. It's at least 5 months, so 20 weeks, and up to 24 weeks. Why? Because in France, the law prevent people to perform a longer internship. Otherwise, it's a kind of I would say work
in disguise.
Yes, yes. So we don't want that. So it should be between 5 and 6 months. It has to be at least 5 months of internship. And so with all those weeks of courses, we have what we call transversal or cross-disciplinary skills, such as statistics, communication, writing report, and so on, that we need to introduce. But we also have true courses, I would say, dedicated to ecology, biology, and fires. So Samantha, maybe you can go to the next one as you're sharing. Okay, thank you. So for this coming year, we said that IPB student will join, those who will be interested in, will join the master degree at PSL at the second years, okay? So the second year is detailed here. So what we call the third semester from the beginning of the master, but for you, it would be your first semester in France, okay? The mandatory courses that are common to all other students from IMAGE would be the statistical analysis course level 2, okay, We also have a course that is environmental challenges. So you have to work on specific project as groups to conduct a research and to build a project to have funded. It's a kind of exercise. We also have a 2 weeks conservation science courses, and we have just few hours, I would say, of awareness training on scientific integrity. Okay. And beyond those common and mandatory courses, you have what we could say elective courses, but if you apply to the second years of that master degree, it will be for those elective courses that are dedicated to fire. And what we will do is that we will have 3 courses on fire with 2 weeks per courses. So it will be 6 weeks on the third semester, 6 weeks dedicated to fire. So we've got a first course that is fire basics, and we've related also to paleoecology, because we will see that for I would say ecosystem conservation and management, it's very interesting to know what is the vegetation and those ecosystems today, but it's also interesting to know what were the species that used to be there and how they react and resist and adapt to fire regime and past fire regime in order to select maybe or to favor some species as compared to others. Okay, so this is the first course. The second course, it's more dedicated, so it's another 2 weeks dedicated to the modern fire. So what we call pyrogeography, because the idea is to go across the earth, I would say, from tropical fires, temperate fires, boreal fires, different ecosystem, forests, savannas, and also peatland and wetland. Okay, so the idea is to characterize those fires in terms of, I would say, burnt areas, fire interval at the same place, or frequency of fires and seasonality, and so on and so on. Okay. For that, we will also focus on the what we call the mega fires, which are usually in many countries. There are some civil protection team that are able to handle fires, but sometimes fire escapes, and those that are escaping, they are becoming very huge and difficult to stop. So the idea is to see what creates those favorable, very good condition for fire spread, I would say. Okay, so we will also work on remote sensing data and the way we can analyze them. So it can be the NASA product through MODIS, for instance, can be European satellite products such as Sentinel, and so on and so on. Okay, and we will also on that course speak about all the uses and impacts of fire. And impacts, it's on ecosystem, but also on population health and work, I would say, and the way we can think about the future of our ecosystems. And the third course will be more dedicated to the risk management, the societal adjustment, prevention, and fighting. So the idea is really to provide with people that are operational, I would say, from the civil protection and other institutions in France, but also abroad, because we will have people that will teach you courses from other Mediterranean countries, such as well, everything is not set, but let's say it should be like from maybe Portugal, Spain, Greece at the European level. as a supplement, I would say, from the French participation. But we will also have, we should have some US, Australian, and I forgot the last one, but anyway, several countries, and of course, as well, IPB professors that are in the forest fire and peatland fire lab. They will provide some courses because it's a master that is that will be attended by different international students and maybe even French students that will follow those courses in English because they are interested on firefighting and fire management. So this is the third semester. So that semester it's quite strong, I would say. And the fourth one, it's, as I said, fully dedicated to the research topic. So in France, in our master, because you will have 2 diplomas, we need to have a report. We'd say we could call that a thesis, but we call that a report, okay? And also an oral defense. So the idea is to have some to have subject that you can conduct through different, I would say, organization. Can be partnership with French civil protection. Okay, it can be some forestry service, fire departments, whatever. But it has to be a scientific question. So during your internship, each student will have to deal with that question. Okay, and the idea is for you to develop or apply or I would say the scientific methodology that you will have learned through your first year at IPB and also to that second year, because ideally the topic that you will select or that we will build for you will be built from the 2 sides, I would say, from the Indonesian side and from the French side. So I'm sure you will have 2 supervisors for that training, and ideally this internship and report for the French diploma will be the same or a part of the master thesis that you will have to conduct and present at IPB. So we are not asking to have 2 works to perform. It can be one full that you will manage to perform over the 5 months in France for the 4th semester, but maybe you will need an extra time to complete for the IPB master thesis, okay? But you will still have to defend the French side, I would say, in France or through visio conference, because maybe you will have to return to IPB to finish. We will see. We will try to be very flexible for that, okay? So maybe we can switch to the next one. And I've actually, the next one, it's a little bit more detailed to what I've said just before. So maybe if you have questions, we can come back on that slide, but I think it's not fully necessary to go through that. It's just that, yeah. So as we said that you are joining, for those who are interested, you will join the second years of our master degree. Our master degree have, when other students join us, we are asking that they have prerequisite, which is at least the bachelor level. When they start in M1, the first year of the master, they need to have a bachelor degree before, okay? So as you join the second year, it means that you need to have that equivalence, but you are at IPB, so you do have a bachelor degree, but maybe some students who are attending that this presentation are still maybe performing or preparing their bachelor, I don't know. So maybe you can think about, as well as a M1 student, we could also have a join, not for the coming year, not for September 2022, but for the next year, it could be feasible that we have let's say a join, not a joint degree, but a double diploma, but collaboration between IPB and France. So think about that. But for the second year student, so as the first year student in the master degree will have already had courses about statistics, about GIS, about we need that you have also those that you have those skills already. Otherwise, you will have difficulties to handle what we are planning to give you as work for that second year. So that's why we are asking advanced concept in ecology from species and individual to the ecosystem level, okay? As well, the interaction, the knowledge of interaction with the environment, such as succession, dynamics, fluxes, climate change, land cover. But I'm sure at IPB you have everything on that, okay? So even though you would not have courses or had courses on disturbance regimes, we will be able to introduce that. But we need that you master basic statistical analysis, because this is what they that we make sure they have on the first year. So as you're coming at the second one, you need to have that to follow the second level courses on multivariate analysis, GLMs, and so on. We work with the R language. So if you don't, if you manage R, it's fine, perfect. If you don't, we will provide a week, a training week, I would say, in advance, okay, early September, to make everybody at the same level. So even though you would have the knowledge of statistics, but you don't know how to handle R, you will be able to have a training first. Okay, so this is R is not the main big deal, but at least you have to know to make statistical analysis. You have also to know how to use a geographical information system, a GIS. We use QGIS ideally because it's a free software, as R actually, and it's better to then come back to your institution or to your, I would say, business, because the international community on those freeware are very efficient. So we, as soon as you have a question, and I'm sure you already know, you go on the net and you find your answer how to deal with some data and some problems. And we also want you to, but I guess it's the case, that you handle the scientific literature tools to search and to report. So those freeware such as Zotero, Mendeley for the literature citation when you write your report, okay? And so the idea is for you to know how to work alone, but also as a group member, okay, about data analysis and interpretation, experimental result reporting, and yes, that you're open mind to work with people, because ideally it's the way we conduct courses. You've got some input from us, and then we provide you some information and things to analyze, and we go like this, and each group is working on a topic, let's say, in a course, and then we exchange, we make presentation, and we interact as everybody learn all the things. I think that's all, Samantha, for me. I'm too long.
Okay,
I know.
no, it's perfect. Well, first of all, I would like to check on something. I shared the document we are sharing on the screen through the chat application. Do you have it? Okay. You have it, Christelle, but are the Indonesian students have it? Okay, nobody answers, so I take it as a yes.
Well, we will be able to.
Okay. Okay. So we have a special schedule for the admission and process for the second year applicants. First of all, there will be a pre-selection in Indonesia during February, which is almost finished anyway, but there is a process of pre-selection in IPB University. Once the students are pre-selected, they have to apply to PSL University through a portal. Everything is online. You don't have to send any paper, but it has to be in English, at least, or French, but I suppose English is better for you. So we have a portal. Just so you know, the words in blue in the presentation opens a website. So you just have to click on it. So you go on the PSL University portal and you have a month and a half to upload the documents that we need to consider your application. So you have the list. We won't go through it because it's really basic. We're talking about copies of your documentation, your transcriptions of the over years of studies you have pursued, certificates in English or French English languages skills, but it's optional if you don't have it. A resume, a curriculum vitae, a cover letter stating what you want to do through the program. And, oh, I'm sorry. After that, we will analyze your application, and the admission decision and confirmation will arrive in May, in the month of May. So once you know that you've been accepted at PSL University, you have to apply to obtain your visa. You do it in Indonesia through a portal which is called Études en France. It's entirely online, so you have a full month to do it. In the meantime, just as I told you before, we strongly suggest that you follow an intensive French course, which is called Survival Level at the Institut Français of Jakarta. Just because, not because of the courses which will be in English, entirely in English, but if you want to survive in France, honestly, it's better for you. It's really for you that we suggest this. And the beginning of the classes in Montpellier, in the south of France, is occurring on September the 9th.
9th or 5 if you need to have that our language weeks level.
Okay, so we added some information to help you to pursue your admission process. So I won't go through this slide. Okay, PSL welcomes a lot of international students. 40% of our students are from foreign countries, so we are really aware of what international students need. So these are some toolkit and orientation for you. The whole documentation is in English. So first of all, I suggest that you check out the PSL Student Life Handbook. You can download it from our portal and prepare your checklist. Once you've been selected and you're about to arrive in France, I strongly suggest that you make yourself known to the EPHL Direction of International Affairs. That is to say, to myself. You can send me an email just to tell me that you are arriving, preparing your stay in France, so that we know that we need to help you. We have a special service at the PSL University that helps international students to arrive in France and do the papers. It's called the PSL Welcome Desk. You can contact it in Indonesia before your arrival in France. So there is a dedicated portal, you have an email address, and you have a phone number that you can use through WhatsApp. Before your arrival in France, you have to do several procedures, your visa, organize your transportation, find an accommodation, maybe exchange with other French and international students that are about to follow the same training. Once you're in France, you have to register to our social security service, and you have to find another accommodation, you have to validate your visa. It's a bit complicated, but the PSL Welcome Desk is here to help you. And just in case, I put the list of our French as a foreign language courses so that you can follow it in France. So you can follow a French as a foreign language course in Indonesia. And once you're in France, you can do it as well. It's completely free of charge. It's online. You will be mixed with our international students. And it's a good way to know people, okay? If you have any question, you can send an email or call us. This is Christelle's email. This is mine. And we are here to help you. And do you have any question?
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Christelle Heli and Mrs. Samet Charel for the presentation. That was such an interesting and detailed information, and too bad I'm not a degree holder from the required field, because I would like to apply too, because this is such an interesting offer. And also, I would like to remind all the participants that the previous presentation by Mrs. Christelle and Mrs. Samantha is available in the chat box. So you can just simply download it and get all the information that you needed there. You can going through all the detailed information once again. Now we can move on to the next agenda, which is question and answer. If you have any question regarding the program in PSL University or the scholarship, about the scholarship too, feel free to raise hand, or you can just type in your question in the chat box. Okay. Maybe can you type or maybe raise hand? Oh, there's a question in the chat box. Is about regarding the course fee and then also the accommodation. Does PSL University provide the accommodation for the students applying for the program? Is there any apartment or studio apartment provided by PSL? And may also we know the detailed course fee of the PSL Forest Fire Master Degree? Thank you very much.
I can take the question about the fees, and maybe Christelle, you can explain about the accommodation in the south of France, because you told me yesterday that you students share apartments, or you can help them through Airbnb. Regarding the fees in France are really low. We are a public university, so we don't have the fees for the next academic year. But this year it was about 280 euros, which is absolutely nothing. 280 euros. The PSL Welcome Desk is a service which can help students to find accommodation, including in the south of France. So if you contact them, they can help you. If they can help you. But Christelle, yesterday you told me that there were other options.
Yes, there are other options. First, I'm not sure I wrote it. But I think Idaya say that on the France Excellence Master Degree grant, if you can grab it, there are some also rooms available at the cruise. Is it correct? It would be like what to say?
Yes, priority access.
Priority access. I was on the plane line. I think I know there is that like priority access.
Yes, indeed.
So that would be even, I would say, wonderful. Okay, because okay, at the master level, there are courses that are EPHE. It's set in Paris. Okay, but with many professors that are spread all over France, which is something that is very a good quality, because it allows professor to come to teach to Paris sometimes, most of the time, but also for students to go, and as courses are set as weeks, student can move in France and travel and discover other university and labs. So, but for that master degree track, let's say forest fire management, it appears that most of people that would be involved in the teaching except those that will be from the visio conference Zoom meeting, because they will be too far. Okay, they will be outside of France. Most of people that will deal with the courses that will teach, we are settled in southern France. It can be from Montpellier, where I am myself and another, let's say, Professor Laurent Brémond, in the same lab as mine. Okay, so in Montpellier, we have all the civil protection organization that is settled near Marseille, I would say. It's in Valabre, Aix-en-Provence, but let's say Marseille. It's a huge city as well in the southern France. And we are something like less than 200 kilometers far, okay? So the idea would be, and courses that are not dedicated to forest fires, but that IPB student would have to, or Indonesian student would have, or international student that would have to follow, okay, to take as common mandatory courses to be with other students, as we said at the beginning of my presentation. Those courses are provided or are taught in southern France as well, in Montpellier mainly. So we thought that the best way would be for international students to find somewhere to rest and to stay southern France. It will be cheaper than in Paris. Okay, it will be the weather will be more comfortable, I would say. Okay, with more sun and a warmer temperature even during the winter, which is quite nice, I could say. Sorry, Samantha. And because she's in Paris, and yes, so if the cruise can help students to have a priority access to those university bedrooms, then it's also a good point. And another possibility is that okay, when students start at the first year, okay, our first course is a week in the field, and it's for the classroom to be very tight at the beginning, and they are performing their first year all together. And when they have to move to the southern France or eastern France or near the sea coast, they travel together and they find through Airbnb some apartments to share, okay, and they rent them together. So those are for the first year. First year, usually they switch to the second year because they succeed, okay. And we have every year new students that start at the second year level, which is fine, and it would be like a IPB student. So as the promotion, the classroom is very tight. In fact, as soon as we know who are the students that will join us for the second year, as they are new, we provide their contact to the classroom, and the classroom take them and involve them in the renting if it's a sharing rent, let's say, or if IPB students have a cruise bedroom, they won't need that because it will be already mainly in Montpellier or in Aix-en-Provence. We will see what is the best for you. And maybe you will join if there is, well, actually, no, there is no other. It's mainly on the first year that there are many move, and on the second year it's moved to Montpellier. So for those that will be already in Montpellier, settle at the cruise, it will be fine. But it's a possibility to share with other student apartments. So they used to do this. So it's the idea. It's for students to be included in the classroom philosophy and way of life, I would say.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Christel, for the explanation. I wish that answered the question. Maybe next, if there's any participant that would like to ask a question, maybe just raise hand, or you can just type the question in the chat box. Anyone? No. I think it's all clear, yeah, Pak Iskandar.
Anyway, they can send all the
Yeah,
questions through
yeah.
emails.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
you can
can
also
continue. Yeah, yeah.
And I noticed that Mrs. Samantha has already sent the detailed web page for the master degree admission in the chat box. You can just simply access the link written below. And maybe since there's no question left, that's all. Thank you very much for all the distinguished guests for joining us today, and as well the speaker, Ibu Nur Hidayah from Campus IFI, Mrs. Christel Heli, and Mrs. Samantha Sherry from PSL University. On behalf of the committee, I would like to convey some apologizes for any lackings or any mistake along the process of this info session. Please stay healthy and have a good week ahead. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mbak Kiki.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Merci
Very
beaucoup.
nice.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
much.
for
Bu
everything. It was
Samantha, thank
perfect.
you. Yeah.
Bonne journée, Samantha,
Bonjour.
Christelle.
Terima
Bonne
kasih,
journée.
Mbak Hidayah.
Bonne
Merci.
soirée,
And
au
we hope
revoir.
Yeah.
to hear you soon with
Yeah, hope to meet you at France.
candidate. Yeah.
Would be nice.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Goodbye.
you.
everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.